Hi everyone, the Smile Create Repeat box is here for the month of July, and let's see what's inside. We start again with the instructions on how to use the supplies and the list of supplies. Gessoed hardboard, and it's toned. Oh, I've never seen that before. That's nice. Some watercolor paper. A couple of pieces of watercolor paper. Feels like 140 pounds. Cold press, has a little texture. A couple of little postcards. I had this one in the last box, but I really like it, so I can send it to somebody else. This is cute. I like these postcards too. Postcards. So let's see what supplies come with the gessoed hardboard and the watercolor paper. Ooh, Sandrinesgallery Artist Oil Pastel. Nice. That's a good brand too. Then we have a orange Sharpie. The Sakura Perma Pack. It says it's an opaque pigment marker. Water and fade resistant ink. No shaking, no pumping required. Replace cap when not in use. We have a blue. Got the same colors as in the last month's box. Then the General's Carbon Sketch pencil, so probably some kind of charcoal, and the new Tombow Mono pencil this month is the HB. Ooh, that's my favorite HB. HB and 2B are my favorite usually. And that's it. I like what's inside this month, so stick around. I'll do a review of these supplies, and then we'll have a speed painting. So let's start with the Sandrinesgallery Artist Oil Pastels. I've got a gray-green. It's very, very smooth. It blends well. Wow. It's much smoother than other oil pastels that I've tried in the past. Then we have the Sharpie. Well, it's a Sharpie. This one is orange. It's a fine line. You see there's two, you can make two marks. You can make a thicker mark and a fine line. It bleeds through though, or it goes through the paper. Let's see, the Sakura Perma Pack. It's a pigment marker. It's opaque, and there's no usually paint markers. There's a ball inside. You have to shake it, and you have to dab the tip on the paper to start it. But this one seems ready to use. Feels like more like ink rather than paint. I like the color. Let's see, it says it's opaque, so doesn't, we can see the orange through it, so it's not that opaque. It's a very fine line, and you can make a wider line as well. It's nice, I like it. It says it's water and fade resistant. I think I read that already earlier. And it dries very fast as well. It doesn't smell bad either. Doesn't smell like anything, so that's nice. The Tombow Mono, what can I say? It's a good pencil. I always like those. So I think they're pretty dark, no matter what. It's an HB, and look how dark it is already. Doesn't smudge that much because it's an HB. And let's see. And it erases really well with a kneaded eraser. And let's see, the Carbon Sketch Pencil by Generals. This one I've had a hard time sharpening it. So I tried the small hole in the sharpener, and that just broke the tip. So I've been trying the big hole. Usually is helpful for more fragile leads, but I can't seem to. Keeps on breaking. You can tell the residue. It seems on breaking it. It keeps on breaking it. Yes, I cannot get a point. So I'm gonna have to. I think the only way to sharpen this will be to use a knife. I don't like that very much. So let's see. Oh, that's very dark. I like how dark that is. Blends nicely too. Well, that it doesn't erase well at all with the kneaded eraser. Let's see. But I guess it's charcoal usually. It's rare that you can erase it all the way. So that's it. I'm excited to get to trial. I was wrong. This is not watercolor paper. It's oil paper. It's still 140 pounds, and it's designed specifically for oil painting. And it doesn't require any preparation, no gesso, nothing. It's ready to use. So I'm excited to try this because it was on my list of things to try. It does feel just like watercolor paper. And I'm excited about this one too. I've never heard of it, and it looks great because it's a panel. It's gessoed already, and it's toned, so you don't need to tone your paper already for your painting. So I really like that.
Once again, I started with a pencil sketch, and I used a Tombow pencil that was included in the box. The HB, like I mentioned earlier, is a bit dark, but it is soft and fun to use. The Sharpie has a very strong color. It's very bright, so I thought I'd use it differently. I took a piece of acetate paper and did some swatches on it with the Sharpie, and I used a water brush to dilute it. The resulting color turned out really nice, and it worked out great for the skin tone. I used the exact same technique with the Sakura marker. Something to keep in mind using the Arches oil paper is that although it feels and looks the same as watercolor paper, it doesn't work the same way. With the oil paper, the sizing is very different. You have to work it very hard for the water to be absorbed by the paper. So I really don't recommend this paper for watercolor. However, I can't wait to try the other sample with oil paint. I haven't tried the hardboard panel yet, but I think it'll be fun to use with oil paint as well. Remember how I said that the sizing of the oil paper is different from the sizing of the watercolor paper? Here you'll see that I accidentally put a drop of water on the paper and it just sits there. I pushed it with my brush and it just rolled off. Now let's talk about the Sakura Permapaque paint marker. I'm very disappointed with that marker. First, it really doesn't feel like a paint marker. I mentioned that earlier. It feels like not even an alcohol-based marker. It feels like a regular water-based marker. I tried recently the Posca paint markers, and those are really good. They're opaque and they're a lot of fun to use. This one is not opaque at all. That's one of the things they claim, that they're opaque. They are permanent, yes, but they're not opaque. I tried with different things. They also claim to work very well on different support like plastic and glass and wood. I did some testing with that and it doesn't work very well. And maybe it will be permanent on those surfaces, but they are definitely not opaque. The color, the pigment is very weak. And although I do like the color of this particular marker, I think the pigment is very weak, and that I really don't recommend it. I don't like it. The Sennelier oil pastel, on the other hand, is wonderful. It's very creamy and soft, and it works very well. However, I didn't think the coverage on this textured paper was that great. So I ended up using some mineral spirit and a brush to blend the pastel better and to fill in the little white holes of the paper. My other disappointment was with the General's Carbon Sketch pencil. It was very, very hard to sharpen. I tried different techniques, and I guess the best one was to use a special sharpener for soft pencils. That worked fine, but I could not get a very fine point. So the core is very, very fragile, very soft, and just crumbles very easily. Because of that, it's hard to get small details and fine lines, especially on the textured oil paper. Besides that, I really like how dark it is, and I would stick with just sketching with it. After all, it's called a sketch pencil.